So how cool is it that Major League Baseball has decided to go to Iowa and play an actual game in the summer of 2020, about a year from now in August, at the site where the movie Field of Dreams was made in the cornfield in Iowa, between the White Sox and Yankees. What an awesome idea. You know, it gave me an idea. It's actually an idea that I wrote about on my blog. You can check that out, 954sports.com. during spring training. I'm Matt Levine, by the way. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube station. Please go ahead and subscribe. Now, the post was my top 5 all-time baseball movies. I'm going to share them with you on the video. And some of the criteria that went into it. First, I was looking for baseball movies I had seen in the theater in my lifetime and enjoyed dozens, if not hundreds of times, literally afterward, from the VCR age to the digital age we live in, where everything's DVR'd. I'm also looking for the quality that I like to find in any great movie. And that's anytime you watch them, again, for the umpteenth time, you find a new characteristic about the movie. You hear a line you never really heard before, you never really thought about, or you see something new in the background, you learn something new about the characters. I'm just looking for timeless, instant classics that are remote droppers. You know, the ones where you're just in that zone of flip, 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 working the thumb, going through channels over and over again. You finally stop and you find the classic. You put down the remote, and instead of zoning out and flipping, you stop flipping and you zone in. That's what makes up my top 5 list. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Number 5, a movie that has a laugh a minute with great actors. All these movies have great actors. Charlie Sheen, pre-winning Charlie Sheen, Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn steals the show. Wesley Snipes, brilliant as Willie Mays Hayes. Bob Uecker, just a bit outside. Brilliant. You get the best of Ueck in major leagues. And how about, may he rest in peace, James Gammon. Played Lou Brown, the manager of the lovable loser Indians. You know, the movie's all about the owner puts together a band of misfits at Brown Skippers, band of rejects, to lose as many games as possible so she has an excuse to move the team from Cleveland to Miami. They turn it around, and the rest is history, and Hollywood certainly writes a great ending to this one. But when it comes to great scenes, this one may be one of my favorites.
Hold it. Well, you may run like Mays, but you hit like shit. With your speed, you should hit the ball on the ground and be legging them out. Every time I see you hit one in the air, you owe me 20 push-ups.
Number 4, I touched on it a moment ago, Field of Dreams. What a great movie, period. Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta. 3 of the members of this outstanding cast that made this a classic. I've never done this before. I am going to quote myself. This is what I wrote about. Some of what I wrote about the movie I think hits the nail on the head. Might as well read what I wrote. I don't think I can say it any better. So here you go, if I can find it. Okay, the movie does such a nice job intertwining the mysticism and genuine love of baseball and how the pastime enables forgiveness, redemption, and second chances in life, and the complex relationships you have with others, all the while happening in a random cornfield turned baseball field in Iowa. And always remember, if you build it, it'll come.
If you build it, he will come.
Number 3, the Bad News Bears. Didn't we all grow up with a Kelly Leak, the main star character in this movie? Talk about great actors. Tatum O'Neal may have been at her prime at 11 years old as Amanda Wurlitzer, The only female on the team with a great curveball. Brilliant. Especially the way she plays a role and interplays it with Walter Matthau. Buttermaker. A drunk has-been trying to find meaning in life as a pool cleaner, and does so, and trying to get back on the right track, and starts to do so by managing a misfit band of kids who not only learn respect for themselves, but learn respect for themselves as baseball players and the sport of baseball. And in the end, almost pull up the upset, come oh so close, but do you get a better ending than the Bad News Bears? You tell them, Tanner.
Hey, Yankees, you can take your apology out of your trophy and shove it straight up your ass. And another thing, just wait till next year.
Number 2, Bull Durham. Could easily have been my number 1. No spoiler alert needed. I'm saving number 1 for number 1. But number 2 could have been Bull Durham. Kevin Costner again. He's back. This time as Crash Davis. A down-and-out minor league catcher on the verge of setting the all-time minor league home runs record. He had a taste in the show. A cup of coffee in the big leagues, but not enough. As a long career in baseball with all his wisdom winds down, finishing out his days with a lowly Double-A minor league baseball squad, the Durham Bulls, who drafted Nuke LaRouche, Tim Robbins. They say a 10-cent head, $1 million arm, and Kevin Costner's job in this movie is to mentor Nuke LaRouche and make him into a big leaguer. A great movie. Just great laughs, great baseball scenes, a great love story between another great actor and Susan Sarandon and Costner and Robbins. And it just takes on a life of its own. Another great actor in this movie, Robert Wuhl. And this is one of my favorite scenes in Bull Durham.
What the hell's going on out there?
Looks like a convention. Pretty soon they're going to call the roll.
Get your ass out there and check it out.
But
Excuse me, what the hell's going on out here?
Well, Nook's scared because his eyelids are jammed and his old man's here. We need a live, was it a live rooster? We need a live rooster to take the curse off Jose's glove, and nobody seems to know what to get Millie or Jimmy for their wedding present. Is that about right?
that's right.
We're dealing with a lot of shit.
Okay, well, candlesticks always make a nice gift, and maybe you can find out where she's registered, maybe a place setting or maybe a silverware pattern. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go.
So many great baseballisms. Love that scene in this movie. And so much insight in the not so glamorous life of being a professional baseball player. Number 1, a movie that was a novel in 1952 by Bernard Malamud. Great read. And that's Natural, made into a epic classic in 1984, starring Robert Redford and a great cast, including Kim Basinger, Glenn Close, Robert Duvall, of a baseball player who is trying to salvage a career that never happened. He was a young phenom, Robert Redford. His life took a drastic turn, getting shot by a psychopathic lover. And years later, he resurfaces as a slugger in his mid-30s with a losing baseball club in New York, the New York Knights, and tries to reverse their fortunes. And just a story within a story within a story in this movie. So many great scenes. And what I love best about The Natural is that it really takes you back in time. And you really feel like you're in the teens of the turn of century in the 20th century. You feel like you're living, breathing the era And the movie does a great job of really capturing that. And I think this scene says it best. When Robert Redford, his character Roy Hobbs, looks into the stands and finds a familiar face, one that's been disappearing, and his long-lost sweetheart, and Glenn Close's character. And he hits the ball so far, so hard that he breaks the clock. Take a look. I don't think there's a film out there that captures the romance that America has with the sport of baseball as well as The Natural. All 5 of those classics. And there are so many other great baseball movies. Believe me, it wasn't easy to make this top 5 list. But again, you can go check out my website, 954sports.com, and read the blog post in its entirety. Again, those are my top 5 all-time baseball movies.